welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching the news at 10 on Channels Television, coming to you live from Lagos. Reminder of our top stories. As anxiety mounts over insecurity across the country, President of the Senate says it's time for the convocation of a robust security summit to address the increasing threats. President Buhari gives assurance of tackling wanton killings across the country, says security remains top priority of his administration. 12 bodies rescued at the site of the collapsed building in Jos, the Plateau State capital, as emergency workers end operations. And President Donald Trump says he is not a racist, following the outrage over his Twitter attacks on 4 U.S. congresswomen. Top stories and others, visit our website channelstv.com. Subscribe and watch Channels Television's live stream on YouTube and other social media platforms using your mobile device browser, or download the Channels TV app for Android and iOS devices from their respective stores. Besides giving you access to news updates on the go, the Channels TV and Channels 24 app has an eyewitness feature that you can use to share pictures, videos, or news of happenings around you. Just install the app, tap and swipe to reveal the menu, and please follow the instructions. The Supreme Court has affirmed the election of Senator Peter Nwaoboshi of Delta North Senatorial District as the winner of the People's Democratic Party primaries held on October the 2nd, 2018, and duly elected on February the 23rd. The Apex Court struck out 2 appeals filed by Mr. Ned Nwoko, who had challenged Senator Nwaboshi's election for lack of jurisdiction. In a unanimous decision, the Apex Court said that the originating summons filed by Mr. Ned Nwoko on December the 11th, 2018, at the Federal High Court Abuja was incompetent, and that the trial court judge was in error as the incompetent process had robbed the court of its jurisdiction. Delivering the lead judgments, Justice Iyang Okoro stated that the originating summons is incompetent and the judgment of the trial court is without jurisdiction. The acting South African High Commissioner to Nigeria says a video of the incident leading to the alleged killing of the Deputy Director General of the Chartered Insurance Institute of Nigeria, Elizabeth Ndubuisi Chukwu, in South Africa is being examined by the South African authorities, and the investigation is being given the highest priority by the South African government. The envoy mentioned this during a meeting with the chairman of the Nigeria Diaspora Commission, Mrs. Abike Dabiri-Erewa, at the South Africa High Commission in Abuja. Our correspondent, Kayla Megwa, reports.
Mrs. Elizabeth Uju Ndubuisi Chukwu, the Deputy Director General of the Chartered Insurance Institute of Nigeria, was allegedly killed on the 13th of June 2019 in her hotel room while attending an insurance seminar in South Africa. The 53-year-old mother was a member of the Chartered Insurance Institute of Nigeria, a member of the Nigerian Institute of Marketing, an ex-council member of the National Council of Registered Insurance Brokers, and a fellow of the Chartered Institute of Loan and Risk Management of Nigeria. Her death and that of many Nigerians in South Africa is the reason for this protest at the South Africa High Commission in Nigeria. The chairman of the Nigeria Diaspora Commission appeals to the protesters to remain law-abiding.
We are here to demand justice on behalf of the president, and we're here to assure you, this is my brother, that we will get to the bottom of this. If it means getting a private investigator, we will.
After a closed-door meeting with the acting South African High Commissioner, Mr. Bobby Moreau, he gives an update on the status of the investigations.
The South African police services are working very closely with the staff and management of Emperor's Palace, the hotel in which Ms. Ndubuisi Chukwu untimely lost her life. A video footage has been obtained. It is being studied, and we are awaiting the authorities to give us an update.
The chairman of the Nigeria Diaspora Commission, on her part, says a resolution is necessary for the sake of the family of the victim and the relationship between Nigeria and South Africa.
We've been dealing with issues of xenophobia in South Africa, and which, in fairness to the South African government, we have about 8 policemen that have been charged for cases allegedly involving maltreatment of Nigerians in South Africa. While we call on Nigerians to behave themselves wherever they are, we are here to demand justice, to demand fairness, and to demand that the pain of this family would perhaps be eased a little bit.
One of the things the acting High Commissioner said here at the South African High Commission in Abuja is that there needs to be a cultural exchange program between Nigerian youth and South African youth, so maybe they can understand each other better, and maybe cases such as the ones being investigated right now will become a thing of the past. Kayla Megwa, Channels Television News.
Well, let's have another conversation about the killing of Nigerian citizens abroad. I'm now being joined live from Abuja by the Chairman, Chief Executive of the Nigerian Diaspora Commission, Abike Dabiri Erewa. Thanks a lot for joining us on the news at 10 as we look at this today. Just to start off, to say that our hearts go out to those who've lost their lives, and it's difficult to talk about it, but we do have to. So let's start from the issue of Elizabeth Ndubuisi-Chukwu's case. I mean, I saw you there talking to the South African authorities, etc. But where do things stand as of tonight with that investigation?
Well, it's moving very fast, as the acting High Commissioner told us, as well as our Consul General in South Africa, Mr. Godwin Adama. It's been made a high priority case, and we've been assured that the investigations will be thorough, it will be open, it will be transparent, and we'll know the truth. And as I told the acting High Commissioner, it's about closure, one for the family. We can't bring her back, but it's important to know when, where, how did she die. But I have the assurances of the acting High Commissioner that this is being treated as a high priority case. And I also told him that on behalf of President Buhari, we're going to demand that we know exactly what happened to her. So we'll give them the benefit of the doubt and allow them to do thorough investigations and get back to us. And he also told us that he will update us from time to time as the investigation continues, and give an assurance that even South African government can't wait to actually get to know what happened in this really sad incident.
There's a lot of anger, even back here in Nigeria, each time we hear this type of thing. You know, it seems to be fairly common now. But let's look at the government's response to it. I know sometime earlier on, you know, the former Foreign Affairs Minister had gone down to South Africa with his team to talk to the other team, and yet here we are again. So I don't know, what sort of response are you looking for them?
Well, with the interpretation of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs on the instruction of the President, as you heard here, we have 8 policemen actually being tried for their involvement in alleged killings of Nigerians in South Africa. That had never happened before, but that was based on President Buhari's intervention with his counterpart in South Africa. Again, the Nigerian mission in Joburg is actually on that matter and keeps updating as the case comes up in court. Well, the ministers of foreign affairs of both countries actually came up with what they called an early warning signal. But the 2 ministries have also agreed that these early warning signals needs to be looked at again and maybe strengthened, or something needs to be done about it so that it's going to work. But in the meantime, we keep demanding that whatever happens to Nigerians in South Africa, we really must know. Well, they tell you there are some cases that have happened in the recent past that actually had to do with Nigerians killing Nigerians. But no matter what, there are killings and they're taking place in that country. So it's important to know, who and what the people behind this killing. So we continue to engage with the authorities as we appeal to Nigerians. Like I told the South African Acting High Commissioner, well, it's like, we're close to the edge. And as we say, try not to lose control. So we appeal to Nigeria. It's not about going to break their shops or going to attack them or something. But we have to ensure that we keep working on it to ensure that we do get justice. So the 8 policemen on trial at the moment, has never happened before. We keep monitoring what is happening, and we keep reporting back to the president and to the people of Nigeria. At the moment, we don't have a foreign affairs minister yet. We're waiting on that ministerial list, and things like this are happening. Just quickly now, just to ask, who does the buck stop with right now, as there's, I wouldn't want to say a vacuum, as we await this foreign affairs minister, and what you want to say to Nigerians who are still on this side of the shore to do when they're on the other side, quickly. No, government is running. We have a permanent secretary who is actually in touch on this situation, and I believe that sometime this week he's going to talk more about it. So government is running as we await the Minister of Foreign Affairs that hopefully will be announced soon. But in the meantime, I just want to appeal to Nigerians. One is on the instructions of Mr. President with the Diaspora Commission. Wherever you go, as long as we know of any injustice, we will intervene and demand justice. And we've been succeeding in a lot of cases. But at the same time, we appeal to Nigerians, wherever you go, obey the laws of other countries, because you just have to obey the laws of other countries. But when you're maltreated because you're a Nigerian, when you're maltreated for an offense you did not commit, on the instructions of President Buhari, you will not suffer for an offense you did not commit. We've been doing that, we'll continue to do it, and we'll continue to fight for the rights of Nigerians everywhere in the world. Again, my condolences to the family of Mrs. Nwaoboshi, and I believe, and I'm very optimistic, that we will get the truth and get to the bottom of this particular case and other cases that we're dealing with.
All right, Chairman, Chief Executive Officer of the Nigeria Diaspora Commission, Abike Dabiri Erawa, thanks a lot for joining us on the News at 10 tonight.
Thank you.
We turn attention to infrastructure now, and the death toll from the 3-story building that collapsed on Butcher Street in Dilimi area of Jos North Local Government Area, that's in Plateau State, has risen to 12. The head of search and rescue operations in the North Central for the Nigeria Emergency Management Agency, Mr. Nuruddin Musa, confirmed that 4 people have been rescued so far, and they are receiving treatment at the Bingham Teaching Hospital and the Plateau Specialist Hospital.
More bodies being pulled out from the rubble of the collapsed 3-story building on Butcher Lane in Dilimi, Jos North Local Government Area of Plateau State. Search and rescue operations have been going on here for over 12 hours by the State National Emergency Management Agency, the Nigerian Red Cross Society, and other agencies of government.
As at this morning, 3 dead bodies were recovered. As you can see, the operation is still on because from a reliable source that there is a welder that is still trapped.
The structure was built 5 years ago, and residents blame the owner for the collapse.
Major culprit in this disaster, to me, is the development control unit of the Jos Metropolitan Development Board. Because all these things that is happening, they have their supervisors that came around, but we don't know what transferred between them and the owner of the building.
Some experts attribute it to patronage of quacks in building construction business.
This case here today is a case of quackery and use of bad materials for construction. It is our sincere advice to the general public to be conscious of the kind of people they involve in the supervision and design of their projects.
The Deputy Governor is here to ascertain the level of rescue operation and evacuation, and he wants residents to remain calm.
I'm calling on the Nigerian Society of Engineers, Plateau State Branch, to be up and doing. Mobilize your members to do the right thing. Because if they are doing the right thing, we shouldn't be having instances like this. And I'm also saying that from now onwards, JMDB, Lands and Survey, and the security agencies will move street to street, identify buildings that are not properly structured, mark them for demolition.
The collapsed building has brought to the fore the need for effective supervision by concerned authorities, particularly at ensuring that specifications on constructions are strictly adhered to and defective buildings pulled down to avoid unforeseen deaths.
When the News at 10 returns, Total Upstream Nigeria Limited commissions 10 projects in northern Nigeria valued at 900 million naira. Do join us then.